Hi, and welcome to Dave's Classic Collectibles. Yes, we finally moved in new premises, and as you can see, there's no model cars behind me, but hopefully that'll be coming very soon with a new display cabinet behind and putting in some my models and obviously some new exciting models as well. Today we're going to have a look at something a little bit different. Just recently I came across a very exciting car and decided to start a new collection. One that I did do a long time ago and have sold that collection and moved on, but I just couldn't pass up the opportunity after seeing this model. So let's have a look at this model and a couple of others and see where this collection is starting. So diving into the start of my 143 Bathurst collection. The car in the middle is the 1980 Bathurst winner, and that's the car that I saw the other week. It is one of the hardest cars to collect in 143 Bathurst winners, one of the hardest ones to obtain, and also not by that meaning it's also one of the most expensive. Next to it is the 1981 car, which is driven by the blue XD Falcon, driven by French and Dick Johnson. And the other car on the right there is another Peter Brock winner, and that is Peter Brock and Larry Perkins. So it's 1980, 81 and 82. So I thought I'd do it this way because then all three are together in the following years. And obviously the 1980 car is the car that I saw the other week, which is incredibly hard to buy. Now, one thing you will need to note if you are starting to collect Bathurst winners or you're going into any collection, it's very hard to get, or it's virtually impossible to get all the same manufacturers. So here we have 80, 81 and 82, and all three cars are different manufacturers. Dinkum Classics, for example, have done these three cars, but there are better examples. The Bianchi car in the Dick Johnson car, in the 1981 car, is definitely probably the best one available in quality and value for money. The one at the back, the 1980 Bathurst car, is the best car to actually have because it actually also has the open bonnet. So therefore you get a full engine bay, which is quite rare, and only a few of the models. Classic did do several Bathurst winners, but not an entire set. And then the 1982 car is actually been done by Ace Models, and it's probably the better of the bunch. Dinkum is the only other car that's done 1982, and it was done a very long time ago, so obviously this model was nowhere near that old, so therefore the molds and everything are a lot better. Quality to detail is also there. Why collect Bathurst winners? Well, that's a soft spot for me. It's where I originally started, from the twin set from the 1977 Alan Moffat cars. From just having them, I then went on to, years ago, buying the entire Bathurst set. Things change. I actually at the time bought a GT Falcon, so I decided, well, why do I want all the Bathurst cars? So I sold them all, and then later did a full set in 118. So seeing this car, the 1980 car, being so hard to get, sort of thought, hey, why don't I redo it? And sometimes with a lot of collectors, and particularly myself, the thrill of the chase is always something that's really great to see. Why Bathurst? Well, it's very fonding to me and a lot of collectors, and probably 118 Bathurst winners is probably the most desirable, and then it goes from there. But a lot of Australian race history, and back in those early days it was the slogan that win on Sunday, sell on Monday. These cars absolutely resembled that back in their day. Bathurst started in 1963 and is still current. If you wanted to collect these Bathurst cars, you can get an entire set apart from last year's winner. The 2025 is the only one that is not made, and as I said, it is impossible to actually get a full set made by one manufacturer, particularly when you have things like Minis and Jaguars, which are obviously British cars. They are done by different manufacturers. Although 66 was done by Bianchi, it's a very expensive car to get and very hard to get in 143, but you can quite often see the Vanguard's one, which was made in the UK. Also, the 85 Jaguar is also, because being a British car, was actually done by Mini Champs. Dinkum Classics is the only Australian manufacturer to actually make that model. Now let's have a look at these three models individually. So having a good look at the 1980 car now, and also the following car we do will be the 81, they are very hard to find, and one of the hardest ones to collect. And there's a few others there too. 1963 is definitely another one, and 2003. But At the moment, what I couldn't tell you the last time I seen a 1980 143 Bathurst winner. It's been a long time. Hence, seen it, bang, and now we're here. The quality of this model from Classic Collectibles is outstanding. When I talk about things, sometimes I say, oh, you know, it's really good, and we've said that Authentics do some great stuff of late, and they absolutely are. This is really the pinnacle, definitely in 143. The fact that they have the open bonnet and you get to see a full engine bay, nothing else is open. The car is totally die cast, so no open boots or anything, boots or door. It's just the engine bay lifting up in the bonnet, and that's awesome. The high detail, the car measures incredibly well, so it's really good to scale. The wheels, right down to the decals, the paint, there's still absolutely no runs in the paint, rash. There's nothing, there's no imperfections in this model at all. And they really did a fantastic job. And even look at the display case that the car comes in as well. With that mirror reflect and everything, you can actually see the underneath. And a lot of people display their cars now in these display cases, so they don't even take them out of that and then put them in their cabinets, so to make them as dust proof as they possibly can. It just really pops. Awesome looking car. My favourite, not only because it's just said it's very hard to get, but definitely one of my favourites in regards to quality, what you actually get, and also the way it's packaged. Very hard to beat. So looking at the 1981 Dick Johnson car now, this one is probably the best example from manufacturer Bianchi. Dinkum Classics is the only other manufacturer that's made it, and this is by far a better example. When I start collecting, I usually go for a theme. Is it going to be get all the hard ones? Is it going to be get the cheap ones first? I like runs. So if I can get consecutive years in a row, it looks really good, because then you can start displaying the cars and you have runs. Now that's how I do it. How everyone else does it is entirely up to you. So starting with a 1980 car, then I really want to go backwards. So back into the 79 and 78 and go that way. And now also going forward. So 81, 82 and 83, and then 84 is hopefully soon to be redone. It's been done by Bianchi several years ago. Incredibly hard also to get, but Authentics are supposed to be releasing that car this year as a twin set and also singular. So looking definitely forward to that, because that 1984 is a form finish. Back to this car, the 81 car, I think this is the best example. I do try to get the best model as I can. So if I believe in this case the Bianchi is that, I really want that. I don't want to get the Dinkum Classic. Sometimes if it's so hard to get or the price is too good, I will pick up that model and go, you know what, at least I've got it. I can fill in the gap and then maybe resource it later and get the actual one that I want. The advantage with this car, even though the 1981 car is quite hard to get, of late, it's been really sitting around a bit. You can start to see it, which is really quite rare, because a couple of years ago you could not find any of these Dick Johnson cars. The XE green's tough as well, or the true blue like what's in front of us. So getting a little bit more easier to find at the moment, and there were plenty of them made. But this one, definitely, I believe, the best example of the 1981 Bathurst winner in 143. So now looking at the 1982 Bathurst winner, which is the third and final car that we're going to do for today, done by Ace Models. Now, Dinkum Classic also did it a long time ago. So this one is better. Definitely the colour's better. The wheels are nicer, and also the interior is a little bit better. The mould's probably not a lot of difference between the two. I'll probably say I would still have the Ace model over the Dinkum, but the Dinkum car is still quite good as well. Completely sealed car, so nothing opens. It's die cast. Obviously the display case is clear, where the Dinkum, they came in a tube, and then he also redid the second thing. Now this is the first edition that was done by Ace. They did another edition last year, released it last year with the two drivers. So you got Peter Brock behind the wheel and you got Larry Perkins on the outside. So it's up to you if you really want that. It's a bit of also back what Dinkum used to do, with the driver, without the driver. Consistency, I believe, looks better, so don't have. If you want all the cars with one driver, yeah, go, but you couldn't get a full set of those cars today as Bathurst winners with drivers. So you're probably better not to do it and leave it single like this one. I definitely prefer this one. I bought this about 10 or 12 days after the 1980 car. The XD that we just had a look at, the 81 car, I picked that up only just the other week actually. eBay, bargain and a half. That was a really good buy and a lovely person that I dealt with. So for $200, that was every cent worth it. This one, they retail around about the $150 mark. Sometimes you can see them a little bit dearer. Obviously, this car has got all the decals on it, where some of them do not. So just be careful with that, because the price will vary. Overall, quite a good model in the clear display case. Looks pretty good. This is where I've started. So we've got 1980, 1981, 1982. How quick, if you wanted to get a set of Bathurst winners, you could probably do it in months. You could go out there and buy the full set. Sometimes collectors are selling their entire collection. You may get all the cars or nearly all the cars. As I did say, everything is available in 143. Bathurst started in 1963, still running current till today. That's 66 Bathurst winners. Thanks for watching Dave's Classic Collectibles. Hope you enjoyed our look at myself starting a 143 Bathurst collection, and obviously sought after that very hard car, the 1980 Bathurst winner, driven by Peter Brock and Larry Perkins. Also the 81 and 82 cars today. As I said, I will try and continue that set on from the 80s and also back to the 70s, so I have that run. I'll probably buy a car every couple of weeks and we'll see how we go with that. Really looking forward to the 1984 car being dropped by Authentics this year in the twin set. Can't wait for that one to happen. Their quality's been really good of late, so really hoping that they're going to stick with that and it's going to be a great model. Is this how you'd start your collection? If so, let us know if it is or if it isn't. Maybe you've started with a set of drivers. You've got some Dick Johnson cars, or Moffat or Van Gisbergen or Lowndes or whoever you may have started with. Let us know if that's what you're doing. Leave a comment down below. That'd be awesome to hear how you're going with your collection. If you like today's content, please give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Until next time, happy collecting.